Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining the channel. It has been a minute since we've put out something. We both have busy lives, so we don't get to often do this. But tonight we're going to do Exodus. So once again, thank you again for joining us. We appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button as well. And if you just so feel the need, make sure you hit that bell down below as well, so that you can know that when we're posting new content. So once again tonight we're going to talk about Exodus, which is one of my favorite funny tales in the Bible, to where a man is orphaned, stuck in a river, floated down on a little bitty boat, found by Pharaoh's wife or whatever, and leads some people out into the middle of the desert, and they get lost for 40 years. So yeah, it's comical. I had this conversation actually last week and this week with someone who's a Christian. Who I wear these shirts, and people always stop me. Well, when I'm at work, they stop by and they ask me questions. Why do you wear that shirt? Blah blah. Don't you know Jesus and God's the truth? Whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care, right? So someone brought up Exodus, and I was trying to get them to have an honest conversation about Exodus and why that story is not true. Outside of all the fantastical stuff that happens in it and how long ago it was, and then I try to get them to understand that it's just copies of other stories. But I know how I feel about Exodus, and we'll try to make this quick as we can to go through, because we both have things to do this evening. My interpretation of Exodus is that, of course, it's stolen from somebody else's story. People who didn't quite understand physics, people who much later on wrote this story, whoever it was that wrote the story, wanted to make sure that people that look like them and that were them were represented as victims. It's a giant thing about victimhood. Christians, Catholics, any religious group always wants to be the victim for some reason, and they make stories where they're the victim to where they can feel as if they're triumphant in their stories, because they're just stories. But I know what I have to say about Exodus, and no one wants to hear me talk about Exodus. They want to hear what you have to say. So,
Me?
as far as I'm going to ask you some questions, or at least let you get into the mix with this. But my thing about Exodus is I have, on a scientific level, or just science-wise, and I did a video about this a while back, about why Exodus could not be true. The first thing I always say about Exodus is that they had said that the Jews were enslaved. The funny thing is that probably there were no such thing as Jews 2,000 to 3,000 years ago. Everybody in that area looked like you and I. So white people in that area is laughable to begin with.
Right.
So that's the first thing is anthropological. No, it didn't happen.
Right.
There were no slaves that built the pyramids, because that was their premise, is that the Jews were forced into slavery to build the pyramids for the pharaohs, which didn't happen, because the pharaohs back then used skilled labor and paid them in cattle in order to be able to get them to work for them. So there's many hieroglyphs, I believe they're called hieroglyphs, depicting people actually literally working and being paid in cattle, skilled laborers to build the pyramids for the thousands, or how many thousand years they took to build all the monuments and pyramids for the pharaohs. So that's the second thing I believe it is. Second thing that leads me to believe there's no such thing as the Exodus as it's told in the Bible. The third thing is all the magic inside of it. A stick turning into a staff turning into a snake.
A serpent,
a serpent. Bloodletting of innocent lambs spreading blood all over people's doorways, so that God could choose which children to murder. Boils and sicknesses and plagues of locusts. Okay, so Yeah, there could be locusts. You're kind of sort of in the desert. I mean, yeah, you've got water and you can make crops and all this stuff, but a massive plague of locusts most likely probably didn't happen because that would have been something that, the Egyptians would have wrote about. Hey, let's see. Giant fucking bugs came along, ate all our shit. Now we're starving. What the fuck? The Nile River. Yeah, the Nile River, turns into blood. Hey, somebody would have probably come up with a little bit of hepatitis or something. Hey, strange mysterious disease comes up where people are, their livers are fucking bursting or something. Pestilence. Really sick people. Yeah, pestilence. Yeah. Come on, man. So it kills me that people believe this shit. I mean, it's just so damn comical that someone, would think. I mean, they obviously didn't think.
That's why I refuse to have conversations about it, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like,
yeah.
I see where you're at because you're like, look, I'm gonna get you to boldface admit that this is bullshit, and I'm like, I don't even want to talk about it with people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I think I used to feel like that. I used to just be like, yo, man, so explain this to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And on some level, I do it with my mom's, but that's because that's my mom's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, explain magic to me. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How come it don't happen today?
Where's the blood from the sky thing? Where's my other thing? So
what?
So the Pharaoh at some point says, fuck that, you had God kill my kid, because God loves killing babies and children, right? Because
that's his go-to move.
That's his go-to move. It's like, I'm pissed off at all you people. Fuck that. Instead of punishing the people who are causing the problem, I'm gonna kill a bunch of babies who haven't done shit. So that's like what does the Rock's move? The people's elbow. That's kind of like God's people's elbow. He says, "Damn it, I'm all powerful and I just can't make people do what I want them to do by using my magical mystical powers." And Thanos motherfuckers. I'm gonna use the God's people's elbow and just kill your kids, motherfuckers. So kill a bunch of kids, but for what? I mean, so that he can, for what? So you can free some people. Why not just snap your fingers and free them, right? You're God, you're all powerful. Just do that.
No. That is not a part of my plan.
I need to kill some babies. Where's some babies at? Which kind of pisses me off as an atheist, because from what I understand, we're supposed to eat babies, and babies are pretty fucking tasty. And I think that's a waste of good baby flesh.
Oh my God.
For him to just be throwing it away like that, we could use that, little babies tartare maybe. You never know.
Oh my God.
Barbecue sauce, some chives on there, season it up real good, but he's throwing shit away. I mean, it just really pisses me off. But anyway, the other thing that gets me is outside of the mass killing of babies, and if you ask Christians, they think that everybody deserves to live, and and a fetus is considered a person, but yet still they don't have a problem with God killing babies wholesale because he's mad about people not being his people, his favorite people, racism, not being free. but kill them babies, but don't kill the unborn babies, because women don't have control of their bodies. That's the state's job. I don't know. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. But I think the second to the last thing, third to the last thing that really gets me is, so the Pharaoh says, "You killed my son. Fuck you, bitches. Get the fuck out. I hate you, motherfuckers. You want to be free? Get the fuck out of my goddamn kingdom," right? So they pack up their shit, and make themselves homeless and say, "Yeah, we're going to move to a place that we don't have any claim to, Israel." Basically go and steal other people's shit. But don't think about it. We're going to go someplace where we don't even live and just take shit over. But first, we're going to escape. We're going to just walk to the Red Sea for reasons unknown, because they didn't have to go there. There's literal trade routes that they could have walked instead of having to go to the Red Sea and get chased down by the Pharaoh, who could have easily just said fuck it and just killed them where they were. But no, let them go, then chase them down, and then wait until they get to the shore to say, as I'm gonna steal this from Cult of Dust, and then chase them down and try to kill him. Right? He shows up to kill him. Moses with his magical powers. Now here goes the science part. The other thing that really makes me laugh my ass off. So I sat and I did a video where, I did a calculation of how much energy and power it would take in order to part the Red Sea all the way across and leave it that way.
There's not enough.
No, it would
unmeasurable.
It would take 25 exajoules of power in order to do that. Now, the entire planet, I think, if I remember my video correctly, I'll probably put that link up there somewhere. If I remember correctly, it takes the entire planet today. 2 exajoules will run the planet for 24 hours.
Whoa.
2 exajoules. This motherfucker created 25 exajoules and held that shit for 25 hours so that they could run across the Red Sea, which takes 25 hours to cross if you go by foot with the mud that's probably up to your waist with your little carts and all your people. It would take 25 hours for I think it was like 2 million Jews or something like that.
Magic.
For the first,
magic.
For the first one who's standing at the shore next to Moses to run from one side of the shore to the other, and then from the last person to run, 2 million people to run from to be the last person in line to run across. Even funnier is that if there was a straight line of those people, the line would be further than from where the pyramids that they were building were to the Red Sea, if not further. The line of people, if they held hands, would stretch from where they built the pyramids all the way to Israel, and start turning around to come back. It's 2 million people. That line would be that long. It would take them from the first person to the last person. Yeah, it was 27 hours to get across. How fucking slow was the Pharaoh's chariots? If you're sitting on a hill and you're going a sand dune and you're going, I see you fucking Jews trying to escape right now. I see you right there at the Red Sea, motherfucker. Here I come. And it takes you 25 hours to get to where they're at the shore. How far can you see? What kind of binoculars did y'all have back then? Because you got 2 people. From the first person to the last person would take 27 hours to get across. He could have been killing motherfuckers left and right for 27 hours.
God damn.
And there would have been like 2 people that would have escaped. Because the mud, when all the water was gone, would be up to your waist pretty much. How are you going to slosh through all that? By the time you took 2 steps, you'd have sunk, and they just come at you with some spears and start stabbing your ass. So how do you escape?
I don't know. So, you gonna break a blood vessel trying to think of the possibilities with that shit.
But I did. I sat there and when I made that video, I said, wait a fucking second. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's say but why didn't God just say, hey, I'm gonna use my magical Thanos space stone powers and just transport all you motherfuckers across to the Red Sea? If he'd done that, okay, I could have seen where that would have, Pharaoh comes up. But back to the power that it would generate. If you were to take a staff and smack it in the water, just stab it in the water, and create 25 exajoules, that would be 25 exajoules per hour for 27 straight hours for everyone to cross. That first time when you stuck that stick in the freaking water, the explosion and the release of energy would have blown half the planet away.
Oh my God.
So they wouldn't have been standing at the Red Sea. They would have been standing in outer fucking space had they went bzzz. He would have blown up everybody who just escaped the fucking Pharaoh. So you'd have just ran away for no fucking reason just to get to the Red Sea to and put a staff that's going to create 25 exajoules of power in a point a little bit wider than my thumb and blown half the planet away and killed everybody in that area. Everybody from half the planet just went
wizardry.
Wizardry. But to this day, people still believe that story actually happened. And then to get lost for 40 fucking years in the desert.
That's craziness, because at least the fools that can't explain it would just go, oh yeah, that was a fable. You know what I'm saying? Because
it's the power of God. Yeah, well, if that's the power of God, why didn't he just not make slavery? How about why not just build the pyramids for the pharaoh so he didn't have to enslave people?
The possibilities were just too endless once you started slavery.
So let's take the hardest way we possibly can to make people free. But here's the even crazier thing. They had boats. So let's say you part the Red Sea, everybody runs across in 27 hours. They don't get caught by the Pharaoh. Moses says, Alakazam, the water comes back, right? Whatever the fucking magic fucking spell is, right? And now you're roaming the desert, but you're on the other side of a body of water with people who have boats. It wouldn't take very long to throw up some sails or paddle over there, and then would take all their horses and stuff because they had barges and just you're on foot. And then just chase your ass down and beat and kill you. I mean,
oh my God!
So when I have these conversations with people and they try to convince me that this actually happened or that the Bible is actually a real thing, that it actually happened the way they said, it just makes me laugh my ass off at them and just shake my head. And I'm always confused. It's like, why do you believe this? Why do you believe something that can easily be debunked and shown to be demonstrably false when you can believe in things that are true, like science and explosions and incompressible water, because water is not compressible, it's incompressible. If you blow something up in water with that much power, you kill everybody that you're trying to save. So but you can't convince them of this, no matter how hard I've ever tried to sit back and just listen to what they're saying.
Because it's easier to believe. It's easier to not give the resistance. Like you gotta admit something about the people that believe this stuff, man. You gotta admit that the reason why they believe this stuff is because a lot of them they've already they're already resigned to the idea that they're not going to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to go, but wait a minute. They're not going to do what we do. Like, hold on a second. They're just resigned to the facts. So no matter what the story, they're just going to be like, look, I can't explain it, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to roll with it anyways. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because I wonder how many of these people, like in the other parts of their lives, you know what I'm saying, actually have arguments for rational shit, because I would expect that you wouldn't, but I'm sure they probably do.
And the crazy thing about this is, it's like you and I, we're nurses. We're in the healthcare profession, right? And these are arguments that I have with other people who are nurses or doctors that are professionals. Motherfuckers performing surgery on people, saying that, God's hand guided me to, cut your freaking kidneys out, or, remove your tumor.
I almost don't want that. I don't want that dude as my doctor.
No. What the fuck did you go to school for then?
You're talking about some chance shit, bro.
What'd you go to school for? If God is guiding your hand, why the fuck did you go to school? What? Just say, fuck that, hey man. Check this out. Now look, I know normally that people need a degree to do this. Several years of college and labs and training and working on cadavers and stuff and all that, and being able to prove that they can actually do these things. But fuck that. I've got this book right here that says God guides my hand, and if in prayer, if I pray in God and believe in God and Jesus, that I can accomplish anything. Power of prayer, motherfuckers.
You said medical school. I prayed last night. What are you talking
medical
about?
School. Medical school. Who needs that, man? Hey, man, shit. You're doing really good with that surgery over there, Steve. Man, I didn't know you were such a surgical fucking genius. How are you doing that? Well, I would have slept in a specific hotel last night, but I decided not to. I just prayed. And boy, let me tell you, these hands work the magic, baby. Let me take that kidney. There's a couple of livers over there with some candy, some fava beans. We're going to make this shit happen. But that never happened. These people had to go to fucking school in order to learn how to do those things, to be surgeons and doctors. But they suspend all rationality, all logic, and facts and reason for that one thing. Everything else, they had to do something. They had to work for. They had to understand it. Hey, if I want to be a nurse, I got to take this biology class, this chemistry class. I have some sciences. I have to take some psychology and sociology. I have to do all these things, mathematics. I got to do all these things in order to just prerequisites just to do that. That's not the school itself. And at no fucking time in school, I'm going to ask you a simple question, Brian. Let's get it right. When you were going to nursing school and you had to take some tests and shit, at what point in time did they stop in school and go, "Oh, everybody, I know we've been teaching you the science shit, but I need you to crack open your Bibles to Exodus so we can read on how the fucking Jews escaped the Pharaoh, because that's going to help you pass this test and become a nurse." At what point
that never happened. That never happened to him. Never.
All right, hold on. Where's my pearls at? I need to get some pearls to clutch.
You clutched already. you clutched some imaginary pearls, bro.
Imaginary pearls. You know what? I'll see if I can find some and just kind of put them right here, for my, video. But it's like, at what point in time did no one ever came to me when I was going to school and learning all this shit and said, "Hey, man, just take that fucking biology book and put it away. Here's the Bible. Read that. That's all you need in order to be able to, do your job as a nurse." Never fucking happened. But these motherfuckers suspend all reason for this one fucking thing.
That's what I was going to say, for this one thing.
One fucking thing, man. And it's hard. It's hard for me to take motherfuckers seriously, because I don't have a filter. My filter sucks, man. And I'll say stuff to people like, "This lady was stupid." No, I close. I was having this conversation with this lady who she came to me. She saw my shirt and says, I think you're wrong that, God is imaginary or whatever. And we kind of had this conversation where I was trying to get her to admit that, God condoned slavery and murder of babies and 6 she-bears on some boys for calling somebody bald, and how horrible it is that God would just murder kids for some fucking strange ass reason just because he's angry. And she was like, "Well, that's just not the way it is." So as she was walking out the door, because I started getting her to have to see that, oh shit, I am fucking wrong. And yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Slavery's bullshit. And she's walking door. She says, yeah, well, God bless you. And I says, yeah, have fun, with your child murderer, and, have fun with the rape and all that shit that you got to, you're going to read that to your kid. Don't forget to read the part in the Bible in Ezekiel where the woman's talking about, some guy's genitalia the size of fucking donkey, spitting out semen as much as a horse. Don't forget to read that part to your kids in Sunday school. She's like, "Oh," and I was like, "No shit, it's your book, motherfucker. Your book says that. Why are you looking at me shocked when your Bible is literally talking about it's a torture porn, homoerotic baby murdering, genocidal, homicidal.
It's a multi-purpose book.
I mean, if I was going to make and this is just me, if I decided to ever make a porno, I would use the Bible as a guide because, man, it's got some raunchy fucking shit in there. I mean, come on. Lot and his 2 daughters. Huh. Well, we escaped this fucking Sodom and Gomorrah. It's just you and I, girls. How about we go into this cave, we get a few drinks on and I bang you 2 bitches out. How about that?
Dad?
No, his daughters got him drunk and literally fucked their dad. I mean, how does that? At what point is that okay?
Where do they get the alcohol?
The alcohol's been around for a while. Well, it was more wine-ish. Side note, and if I'm correct, I think I am. Alcohol, as far as how we know it today, was invented by black people in Africa hundreds of years ago. Probably, I'm going to say maybe about 1,000 years ago. I'm not sure, but they invented alcohol. Jungle juice. But when black people were enslaved in Puerto Rico, they were raising sugar cane, and the runoff from the sugar cane when they were boiling away it, they made rum. So if you ever drink rum, like Bacardi and all that stuff, slaves invented rum, and the Europeans said, "Give us that." Like they do everything, they steal everything because they've never invented shit, so they stole that from the slaves, and that's why you have Bacardi rum in Puerto Rico because the slaves invented it. There's
also overproof rum in Jamaica. There's Appleton, and the other one is J. Ray and Nephew, which is some strong shit, bro.
All the rum in the world, Pirates of the Caribbean, all the rum in the world that was ever invented was invented by slaves. We invented alcohol, but they'll never give us. To prove that point, the most popular alcohol in the world is what? Name the most popular whiskey.
Tequila.
No. Older, better than that.
Oh, are we talking about not Johnny Walker? Is it Black Label or something?
Yeah, keep going. Close. Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels. I heard about that story.
Yes,
they refused to give him credit.
Invented Jack Daniels, and they took all the credit for all these years. And they finally gave that slave credit for inventing Jack Daniels, which goes right along.
They ain't giving no money.
They ain't giving no scratch. Oh, okay. The slaves invented it. We're sorry. Yeah, we're racist fucks, but hey.
He was working for us.
He's working for us, because, he wasn't a slave. He was a paid worker. What'd you pay him in? Lashes across the ass? I mean, freedom. No. Something. But yeah,
we ain't paying.
Slaves invented alcohol. We our people invented alcohol. They stole it from us. Exodus. That's how that's one of the things, that story itself cracks me the fuck up whenever somebody brings it up, because for those of you out there listening, and I know this has just been kind of Brian and I being stupid about it, but magic don't exist. So if you're watching this and you're a theist or you're on the fence, agnostic, whatever your issue is, slavery, as far as in the Bible, as far as the Jews being enslaved and building pyramids and escaping the Pharaoh, the whole Exodus story is a bunch of bullshit. Never fucking happened. But magic is not a thing. You can do tricks. There are several magicians. The Amazing Randy did magic tricks. It's not magic. It's just sleight of hand. It's being able to set up things, props or whatever, to do a trick. That's all it is. There's no such thing as fucking magic. So please, if you have any self-respect or you don't want people to think you're a fucking moron, please stop telling people that Exodus happened and that Jews were slaves and built the pyramids, because it never fucking happened. Please stop. With that being said, Brian, once again, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I know you got things to do, so we're going to kind of cut this shorter than the normal hour thing that we do. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys too. Please make sure, once again, to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell down below so that you know that we post new content. And by all means, please do not forget to be the best heathens that you can be, and have a great evening.